In 2018, 2 bottles of the 1945 vintage of Domaine de la Romanée-Conti set records at a Sotheby's auction, with one bottle selling for $558,000 and the other for $496,000. In 2021, a 6-liter bottle of 1985 Romanée-Conti from Enoteca Pinchiori in Florence sold for 1 million Swiss francs. The sale was facilitated by Fabio Cataneo, managing director of Avu Luxury Wines, who highlighted the bottle's rarity as Domaine de la Romanée-Conti stopped producing large formats after 2009. Welcome to Fine Wines, where we explore the stories of the world's most famous wines. Today, we explore the history, production, and legacy of Domaine de la Romanée-Conti, a vineyard with a deep connection to Burgundy. Its small production makes each bottle a rare treasure, capturing the unique land and rich history of the region. In the village of Romanée, in the heart of Burgundy, France, we find the legendary Domaine de la Romanée-Conti, which is often referred to simply as DRC. In Burgundy, Grand Cru status is the highest classification for vineyards, signifying the finest terroir and the most exceptional quality wines. Only around 2% of Burgundy's vineyards hold this prestigious designation, marking them as the best of the best in terms of location, soil, and growing conditions. DRC is unique in that all of its wines are produced exclusively from Grand Cru vineyards, including the legendary Romanée-Conti and La Tâche. The story of DRC begins in the 13th century. This land was originally owned by monks from the Abbey of Saint-Vivant. The monks cultivated Pinot Noir vines, believing that the terroir here was sacred and perfect for producing extraordinary wines. For about 400 years, the abbey quietly took care of the vineyards, producing wines in relative obscurity. In 1631, the abbey sold the vineyard to the Kronenbourg family, an aristocratic family with ambitions to elevate their status. The Kronenbourgs did 2 things that shaped the future of this estate. They renamed the vineyard La Romanée, and they bought the neighboring vineyard, La Tâche. The family owned these vineyards for over a century, laying the groundwork for what would become DRC. In 1760, the vineyard's fame skyrocketed when it became the subject of a dramatic royal bidding war. The 2 contenders were Madame de Pompadour and Prince Louis-François de Bourbon, the Prince de Conti. The prince, who had deeper pockets, won the bid and purchased the vineyard for a price that was, at the time, considered astronomical, 8,000 livres. It is roughly equivalent to $2 million nowadays. He renamed it Romanée-Conti after himself and kept the wine exclusively for his private collection. None of it was sold to the public. His main motive was prestige and exclusivity, as having a wine that was inaccessible to others reinforced his elite status and refined taste. After the French Revolution, the estate was confiscated. The vineyard changed hands several times over the next few decades, gradually falling into obscurity. But in 1869, the vineyard found a new hero, Jacques-Marie Duval-Blocher. Duval-Blocher was an ambitious vineyard owner who dreamed of owning the finest terroir in Burgundy. He didn't just want a single vineyard, he wanted to build a domain that would be unmatched. After acquiring Romanée-Conti, Duval-Blocher expanded the estate, purchasing Echezeaux, Grands Echezeaux, and Richebourg, all highly sought-after vineyards in Burgundy. He effectively built what we now know as Domaine de la Romanée-Conti, crafting it into a multi-vineyard estate of world-class holdings. As for La Tâche, it was a notable but divided vineyard. It had been owned by various individuals and families over the centuries. The vineyard itself was split between multiple owners, with different parts of it producing wine under separate labels. By 1933, the Liger-Belair family, who had owned part of the La Tâche vineyard, sold their holdings to Domaine de la Romanée-Conti. This acquisition allowed DRC to consolidate the vineyard under one owner, officially turning it into a monopole. This purchase was significant for DRC, as La Tâche soon became one of their most prestigious wines, known for its robust aromatic profile. The 20th century was a turning point for DRC, filled with triumphs and challenges. Phylloxera, a vine disease that devastated vineyards worldwide, struck Burgundy. The vines in Romanée-Conti were not spared, and by 1945, the vineyard was facing complete devastation. That year, only 600 bottles of wine were made from the last remaining ungrafted vines before the vineyard was completely replanted with American rootstocks to resist phylloxera. This marked the end of an era. The 1945 vintage became legendary as the last of its kind. As the world was consumed by World War II, Jacques Chambon, a key owner of the estate, sold his shares to Henri Lerroy, a powerful figure in Burgundy's wine industry. The Lerroy family quickly became one of the key players in DRC's future. Henri Lerroy's daughter, Lalou Bise, would go on to become one of the most famous names in wine. She co-managed the Domaine with Aubert de Villaine, a member of the de Villaine family, which had also owned shares in the estate since the 19th century. Lalou was a force of nature, a visionary who passionately believed in the future of biodynamic farming, a radical departure from conventional viticulture. Biodynamic farming is a holistic, ecological approach that views the vineyard as a self-sustaining ecosystem. It emphasizes organic methods, avoiding synthetic chemicals, and works with natural cycles, such as the phases of the moon, to guide the vineyard's care. Lalou introduced these practices with the belief that they would enhance both the quality of the wine and the sustainability of the vineyard. However, Lalou's intense passion for biodynamics and her desire to implement these methods fully often clashed with Aubert de Villaine, who was more traditional in his approach to winemaking. Lalou's strong personality, combined with her insistence on complete control, eventually led to tensions between them. De Villaine, though not entirely opposed to innovation, was less enthusiastic about adopting biodynamics to the extent Lalou desired. These disagreements eventually culminated in Lalou being ousted from day-to-day management of the Domaine in 1992. Despite this, the Lerroy family continued to hold a 25% stake in the estate. Lalou went on to apply her biodynamic vision with great success at her own winery, Domaine Lerroy, which is now renowned for producing some of the finest biodynamic wines in the world. Domaine de la Romanée-Conti is now being run by Bertrand de Villaine, the nephew of the iconic Aubert de Villaine, alongside Perrine Fanal, who is the daughter of Lalou Bise Lerroy. Aubert stepped back but still offers advice from the supervisory board.
Wines produced by DRC, Romanée-Conti, Grand Vin, red wine. Only around 450 cases produced per year. Priced between $15,000 and $20,000 per bottle. Best vintages are 1945, rated 100 points by many critics retrospectively. 1990, 100 points from Wine Spectator. 2005, 99 points from Allen Meadows. 2015, 100 points from Wine Advocate. La Tâche, second wine, priced between $6,500 and $9,700 per bottle. Best vintages are 1999, 100 points from James Suckling. 2005, 98 points from Allen Meadows. 2015, 99 points from James Suckling. Other wines produced by DRC are Richebourg, Romanée Saint-Vivant, Grands Échezeaux, Corton, and Montrachet. Their prices range from $2,000 to $5,000 per bottle for the red wines, and $8,000 to $10,000 for the rare white wine, Montrachet.
DRC has been loved by some of the most famous people in history. Napoleon Bonaparte enjoyed Romanée-Conti wine during his time as emperor. King Louis XV also had Burgundy wines, including Romanée-Conti, at royal feasts. Today, DRC is still a symbol of luxury, enjoyed by celebrities like Jay-Z and Beyoncé, and billionaires like Bill Koch. DRC wines have received high praise from some of the world's top wine critics. Robert Parker. The 1990 Romanée-Conti is an ethereal, mind-boggling wine with an extraordinary bouquet of red fruits, spices, earth, and truffles. The palate is seamless, with velvety tannins and layers of complexity that unfold with every sip. It's one of the greatest wines I've ever tasted. Jancis Robinson. La Tâche is consistently magnificent, with a depth of flavor, complexity, and a hauntingly beautiful finish. Even in lesser vintages, La Tâche shows incredible balance and finesse. The 2005 vintage is one for the ages. Allen Meadows. It is the Valhalla of Burgundy, a wine that transcends the limits of mere mortal beverages. Domaine de la Romanée-Conti is more than just a vineyard. Its wines are the most exclusive, expensive, and revered in the world.